25 seconds to play in the game. Kelly looks. He's rushed. He gets time. He's in trouble. He throws. Touchdown, Buffalo. Jamie Mueller.
I guess that was a big knock on him. He couldn't catch the ball, but he came out. He worked very hard in the offseason to improve his hands, and that's one thing Jamie needed. Everybody knows that he's a rough, tough guy and would run into a wall if he had to. But Jamie, he had to work on his hands, which he did, and that's why he's starting.
Hi, I'm Ed Kilgore, and welcome to Sports Extra. Jamie Mueller will be with us live in just a minute, and he'll tell us about that game-winning play that wasn't drawn up quite the way it happened. Bills 30, Jets 27, as the Bills keep pace with Miami in the AFC East at 5-1. Now, the Sabres had the night off after finally getting a win. That was 3-1 over the Islanders on Long Island last night. And our telepoll question tonight deals with hockey. Who do you think? Before long anyway, probably. Well, you wonder, did the week off hurt the Bills? Maybe, but then again, they've started slowly all season. Not only that, the Jets played with great emotion and intensity. Several of the Bills told me after the game it was the hardest hitting game of the year. Now, on the Bills' first possession on a beautiful but rather windy day, Kelly hits Thomas for a 17-yard gain on 3rd down and 7. But tight end Pete Metzelaars is caught illegally in motion. He would later make up for that, but that kind of killed the drive. Then the Bills get a bad break. 2nd and 10 at the Bills' 13. Cornelius Bennett pressures O'Brien into an incompletion, but Bennett is called for roughing. A pretty tough call there. The Jets then 1st and goal at the 7. And are the Jets aware of Bruce? Watch. Now, Bruce moves to the lower part of the screen there. Ray Bentley in the upper part. And Bentley is double teamed as the Jets go right for that vacated spot. Freeman McNeil with a nice cut gets in from 5 yards out, and the Jets lead it by the score of 7-0. We'll talk about slow starts. In the first quarter, the Bills' offense had 0 first downs, none, and an actual minus 10 yards total offense, which is pretty tough to believe because they would wind up with 405 total yards. Now, after a Kelly sack, had the Bills 2nd and 24 at their own 21. Kelly's pass picked off by Eric McMillan. He returns at 19 yards to the Bills' 30. Thurman Thomas making the tackle, bangs his right knee to the turf. That's not the knee injured in college. He did not play at all as a precaution after that. Dr. Weiss looked at him, and Marv talks about the injury.
The knee appears to be stable. He fell on his knee, didn't twist it, which at least that much sounds like a good sign on the front of his knee. He's got a little fluid in it. We hope it's from the bruising. Doc said he'll put him through some more tests tomorrow. Right now, he says, I feel pretty good, but I want to put him through the tests.
Now the Bills' defense stiffens. The Jets line up for a 29-yard field goal. But look at the Bills. They are not ready. If this is a fake, Leonard Smith, who should be actually looking for the fake, lines up close to the line of scrimmage and winds up getting blocked here. As it is a fake, holder Joe Prokop gets the first down. In fact, almost gets into the end zone, knocked out at the 2. Then on the first play of the second quarter, O'Brien fakes the dive and hits tight end Mark Boyer for 6 more, and it's 14-0 Jets. And now on a day the Bills needed a lift, they got it from Andre Reed. He had his most productive day of the season. He had 8 catches for 116 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he also carried 2 reverses for another 38 yards. Still 14-0 second quarter. Bills drive to the 19, 2nd and 13. Kelly with the strike to Reed. It's 14-7. Here you see Reed on the ISO here. And again, later in the second quarter, the Bills then down 21-7. It's first down at the Jets' 14. Kelly to Reed again. He again beats corner Tony Stargell as the Jets leave Reed in single coverage. Kind of hard to believe.
Well, everybody thinks that, taking advantage, really, that's not really what you say, taking advantage. Regardless of what guy was on me, I had to beat him. If he was a first-year player or an 8th-year player or whatever. Just so happens he was on me most of the time, and then he went out the game, Hasty was on me, and he did a good job. I made a couple catches, but I got to beat whoever's in front of me.
Well, with a minute and a half left in the half, the Bills start a drive from the Jets' 47. Don Smith will take the direct snap for 12 yards. Tell you what, Smith and Kenneth Davis filling in very, very admirably with Thurman Thomas out of there in the second half. Davis with 2 straight catches for 12 yards apiece. And then Kelly's perfect pass to McKellar coming up here. It looks like a certain touchdown, but McKellar can't hang on, so the Bills settle for Scott Norwood's 29-yard field goal, and they trail 21-17 at the half. Now, in the third quarter, the Jets use up 7.5 minutes on a drive that ends in a Leahy field goal, so now it's 24-17 Jets. And then the Bills' big play gun fires again. They start the drive at their own 8-yard line, and after 2 plays, they pick up 31 yards, and here's Kelly to James Lofton. Remember the winds and everything else, a perfect strike. Lofton hasn't lost much, has he? The play covers 60 yards, the game is tied.
No, it was a play where, you know, if they had a zone coverage and the guy was off, I would have run a different route. But because it's bump and run, I just take off to the outside and try and beat the guy deep up the field. And we probably run that, or I run that particular route 10 or 15 times a game. And I'm probably open 3 or 4 times. And the times when I'm open, you know, Jim tries to see it and tries to come to me.
There's a play called. He's not supposed to run the 9 route unless they're in bump and run. And when they did come up and bump, that's his option. He can come inside or go outside. And I always told James, heck, if you can beat him outside, do it.
Now, some disturbing signs, despite the terrific hard-fought win of the Bills' defense, again, against the run. The Jets, 150 yards on 40 rushes. They had 37 minutes to 23 minutes in time of possession. And then, of course, the kicking of Scott Norwood. Now, in the fourth quarter, still 24 all, and Norwood hooks a 24-yard chip shot left. The hold appears good. The miss could have cost the Bills the game, but Marv says he's not overly concerned.
Scott has had a lot of games where he's kicked very well, and he had a bad day, and he missed another extra point. I think we shrug it off and say that he's in a little bit of a slump, and he has the ability and the work habits to work out of it.
Once again, though, the Bills show they have the stuff that winners are made of, especially Kelly. He directed the winning drive from the Bills' 29-yard line with 2 minutes, 38 seconds left.
Could be the final drive for the Bills as the ball is thrown downfield, and Andre Reed on a 2nd and 10 play gets out of bounds, maybe inches short of the first down. Here's Kelly standing in on 2nd down, a throw and a catch to Metzler. And the Jets do well and cut him down inbounds. They can't stop the clock.
We knew we had plenty of time to go down the field, and we knew we had been moving the ball against them all day, so we had a lot of confidence that we could go down and win the football game.
From the shotgun, the Jets come with a 4-man rush. Too high, almost intercepted by Joe Mott. That would have finished the Bills and won it for the Jets. And 3rd down comes up for the Bills. This is a long field goal try into a swirling wind if the Bills don't convert on this 3rd down attempt. Kelly against the blitz, stands in, delivers the ball. It's caught by Andre Reed for a Buffalo 1st down at the 13-yard line.
You know, Jim, he's a great leader on the field. He keeps us together, keeps poise on the offense, and you got to have that on the team because if you're all erratic out there, you know, things are going to happen.
25 seconds to play in the game. Kelly looks. He's rushed. He gets time. He's in trouble. He throws. Touchdown, Buffalo. Jamie Mueller.
And what can you say about the performance of Jim Kelly today? 19 of 32, 297 yards, 4 touchdowns. He was intercepted once, doing a great job of looking off the receivers, hanging in there till the final second when he gets cracked. And Kelly, again, doing a terrific job. And boy, also doing a terrific job, Bruce Smith. And despite a brilliant game, he had 9 tackles, 2 sacks, several hurries on Ken O'Brien. Bruce Smith was angry after the game, and his anger began early when the Jets began chop blocking. That's a technique that can be extremely hazardous to the health of one's knees. Besides that, it's illegal, and when tight end Mark Boyer did it early, Bruce let him know about it. Marv Levy was also upset about it, and Bruce didn't hide his anger after the game.
I don't know what in the world they were doing, and when I approached the guy about it, they told me that the coaches taught him that. I mean, that is ridiculous. I can't see how the league will let one man stand you up, or even not stand you up, but the tight end comes down and literally, flagrantly, go after your knees the way they did. And they did it about 5 or 6 times, and the referees had to warn them about it. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Smith made life miserable for Jets left tackle Jeff Criswell. He was double and triple team, but was a dominant player, maybe the most dominant defensive player in the game today.
Lawrence Taylor. Well, the only question I need to ask is, if I'm not the best, why do they use 2 and 3 people and sometimes 4 people to block me? But my goal is to be the best defensive player in the league this year. That's my goal.
All right, and a quick note here. Congratulations to Leon Seals and wife Juanita. She gave birth to a 7-pound boy today, and all are doing well. By the way, Leon had a great game, had 8 tackles in the game.